You are listening to the Hello Sport podcast.
I've lost 5 demerit points this week.
Is that why he's so anxious?
It's probably. I don't know how many I got left. But I'm not a big demerit point guy. Like, I don't lose them. Historically speaking, I have lost them before. But
What have you done?
one, for parking. I didn't realize you could lose demerit points for parking. I'm not even sure I did it, but because it's in the area where I work, Steph and I have assumed that it was me, which I think is reasonable. But I'm still like, maybe you did it. So two demerit points for parking.
On the curb.
Oh, I don't know where. I'm not sure where.
But was it like a no stopping or no parking? Or
They said too close to an intersection. Oh. I have no recollection. Usually if I've done something naughty, I've got an idea. Because the other one I know, I ran a red light. I'm praying to Christ. Well, it mustn't have been a double demerit.
I bet it would be from the parking on the corner.
But that's not too close. Oh, it is too close to an intersection.
I parked there today. And
But it doesn't say no parking.
You're not allowed to park within, and Dior might be able to fucking get the specific number up, Tom, but it's something like 3 meters from a intersection.
But there are other cars that you would argue are doing the same thing. Would you not?
Like, a lot of times I would do a line, but you can't just park on the corner.
Which
like
we do.
that.
And you know what's funny?
Because that is an intersection.
If it is that one.
It's technically a T.
If it is that one.
That's 100% what it is.
Well, when I parked there, the guy was like, cops will get you for this. And I was like, get you for it? What does that mean? I thought he was just like, because I was parking at the front of his business and he didn't want me there. Like maybe he wanted to park. He was trying to scare me off. Now, obviously I'm clearly an idiot. But now we're friends with one of the guys down there. I'm hoping that old mate who did initially point out didn't like call the cops and be like, this guy's.
No, because the fact that he said cops as opposed to parking inspector,
officers.
I think that indicates
There's no parking sign.
no. It doesn't matter. It's still a rule. You're not allowed to park within a certain.
Yeah, it says 10 meters of an intersection without traffic lights. But to be honest, what I thought...
10 meters is a long way.
Yeah. But it says
is.
unless the sign says you can.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought it was something to do with the fact that they have like ramps for obviously disabled people and you're not allowed to block those.
No, I wasn't blocking those.
Yeah,
I made a
that's
point of
what
not
I
blocking
thought.
the path.
That's not what it is.
Either way, I feel like when there's signs telling you can't park somewhere, for the fucking rule to be like, unless a sign tells you can, I'm like, well, why don't you just have a sign telling me I can't so I know I can't?
Why do you think?
Because they want my money and my demerit points. Anyway, so there was that one.
They want you to measures.
They want my demezes. And so there's that, and I had to give those 2 up, which, whatever.
Fine.
Yes.
Meaty.
3.
Meaty enough.
Meaty enough, dude. That's meaty.
That's meaty.
That's meaty. And then the second one, I ran a red light, and I know the one I did it because I went through.
Which one?
You know, on South Dowling,
Yep.
coming back towards like Paddington,
Yeah.
where the trams cross. So it's like almost where you can take the thing down to the tunnel to go like North Sydney, or you can just go across with it. You got to.
Is there a?
I think that's it because I was like, there was one time I went through.
I didn't know there was one there.
You know, sometimes when a traffic.
Actually, there is one on the other side of the road. There is, yeah.
You know, when a traffic light is red, is going orange, and you can shoot through sometimes. Even though I think legally you're meant to like stop as soon as you see orange.
Was it red or not?
Well, it must have been. But you know, sometimes
Because you won't get done for an orange.
No, but you know, sometimes you'll push it.
Yeah.
Again,
I know.
I'm not celebrating inappropriate driving here, punters and dribblers. I'm not encouraging it. But sometimes when you see an orange, you speed up instead of slow down. It just is what it is. Let's not pretend like we're all holier than thou in the driving game. I sped up when it was orange. And you know when you sort of hit a speed where you go, it'd be more dangerous if I broke, if I put on the brakes here. And it turned red too late.
No, you go, listen, I've made my bed.
Yes.
I've made my bed. That happens all the time.
Yeah, and
not all the time,
but it happens enough.
I reckon that happens to me once every 6 months. I reckon twice a year.
When I drive with you, I'm reminded of like what a car. Like I don't think I'm an anxious or uncalm driver, but I do get pissed off behind like slow people. And sometimes I find driving with you is an exercise in self-reflection around just not. Don't worry. Sometimes I'll just see you just like some guy's driving slow as fuck, and you'll just sit there, and I'm like, how is this guy not fucking like overtaking him right now, or like at least looking at it? I'd be like, can I overtake this prick?
It depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah.
Like if I'm in a rush somewhere, I'm that guy.
I'll never drive up someone's ass. I'm never that guy.
I will if I'm in a rush.
No, I'll never sit up someone's
I
ass.
will
That's
if
like
I'm
the
in a
most obnoxious way to drive a car.
If I'm in a rush, which I rarely, like I'm in less of a rush now, thank God, then I'm inclined to let them know where I'm at. You know what I mean? I'm here.
I'm able to let them know I'm here, but I hate if you sit up someone's ass, especially on like a highway. Obviously, I get.
Oh no!
If someone's cruising in like an overtaking lane,
I'm talking about on the side streets here.
Side
I'm not talking about a
streets,
fucking freeway, bro.
Side streets like is what it is. Again, you can still be up someone's ass in a side street in an obnoxious sense.
Only if they're fucking up.
Yes, but
is
if
my,
you're
is my approach,
and I'm also happy to sit on a horn in city.
I'm not a big horn guy.
I'm not a big horn guy, but I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it if it.
You
needs
got a
to be
horn in
done.
you?
No, I've got a horn in me.
I'm not. I'm a. Put it this way. If you are driving along and someone fucks up out of the blue, are you a straight to horn operator? That's how you know if you're a horn.
What do you
guy
mean
or not.
fucks up out of the blue?
Cut you off. Are you bang straight on it?
fuck
Like what's your
yeah.
default?
If
What's your instinct?
If someone cuts me off, and my instinct is let's make sure I'm all good here, and then I'm gonna let you fucking know. Like,
Because some people are instinct is to work the horn.
no, my instinct is to make sure that I'm all right, and then I'll work the horn into the core of the earth.
Yeah.
If the horn is there to be worked. Sometimes what's really unsatisfying is when you go to work the horn and for whatever reason you just missed it, and you're given the horn when they're like 20, 30 meters behind you, and you're like, this is now just for me, this horn.
Because it's it's horses for courses in the horn game.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Now, there's horns are in different places on the steering wheel. If you're in a new vehicle.
That's also a great point.
So, and once you go a horn, if there's no sound comes out, you can't re-go, I don't think.
But
I don't.
You shouldn't. But again, it becomes a horn for you.
Yeah, but there's no, I think that's a hollow horn.
Oh, fucking oath, it's hollow. It's
That's
as
a
hollow
hollow
as it
horn.
gets.
Yeah.
But that's like, at that point, you are chasing hollow victories. You roll out horns sometimes where it's like a button.
Yes.
Those ones.
That was...
Because they're the ones that fuck you, and you need to, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, sorry. I
And
didn't
there's
realise
usually
it's a
two
button.
of them.
Yeah. It's a button like I want to answer the
I wonder
phone.
if they get louder if you use them both at the same time. Anyway, that's by the by.
Don't give me a button I need to know. If I'm in the middle of turning a wheel and like trying to beep someone, it's like, oh, whoops, now I got to look down and find the button. That's stupid. That's poor planning.
Someone told me once that, you know how if you're waiting at a set of lights and someone edges forward a meter and you'll edge forward too? Apparently that's like an Australian thing. Could be wrong.
Doesn't happen anywhere else.
Like our need for inches, sometimes mils.
We're a nation of inches.
Yeah.
I can't help but do
that
it.
could be complete horseshit.
No, well, I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but I certainly know that.
I'll edge.
I edge.
I'll edge all day long.
Especially if you need to get out in front of a car.
If the car two in front of me edges and I see an edge, obviously the eye attracted to movement. I'll spy an edge, and if they don't edge in front of me, I'm like, well, hang on, there's an edge here.
Yeah, take
right
the edge.
for the picket.
Take the edge.
You must take the edge.
That annoys me when people don't like.
Take the edge, mate.
Have we had this conversation as well about when, and you definitely shouldn't use your phone in the car, but you know when people in front of you are, and then
Yeah, it's same. I'm yet to see what you were about to say. Not done.
where the person in front of you, the light goes green and they're on their phone and they don't realize you bang on the horn, and instead of just going, oh, it's green, they fucking
They
floor it.
fly.
Yeah.
Like making up for their fuck up, essentially.
But
like,
it makes no difference because
no one moves quicker than someone who's fucked up, who's first in line on their phone.
Yeah.
No one.
Anyway, so I did run a red light. You do the crime, you do the time, but I just don't want to lose Demez's.
How many you got left?
I think I've got full.
So you got 8 left.
I think I've got full, but I can't remember if I lost some in the not too recent past or in the not too distant past, sorry.
I think they take 3 years to reset.
They do, because I have lost a bunch. I have lost them over the years. Again, I don't think I'm a bad driver, but I've certainly lost them. I'm not good. Like, I'm not great. You know what I mean? I wouldn't hang my hat on it. I'm not fucking Chaz Mostert.
If you've gone through life without losing a coupler, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I think I'm on 7 at the moment. Lost 6.
But like also
I've gained 6.
I've got mates who have lost them.
Difference is.
And then it's like they've lost all their points. And it's like, hey, I need them. I need the car for my job. So they're like, okay.
You can get around it, but if you fuck up in that period, you're fucked.
Then you lose it for yonks.
For ages. Like they double down sort of thing.
Yeah.
What'll get you is on the blower, double demerits. That's 10 points right there.
I, again, have heard this. I think this is, so you lose your license, then, like, or you lose all your points. There's a way to get your full points back in like a few months as opposed to 3 years.
That would be if you lose your license. So if you lose it,
right, you just go, okay, I'll lose it for 3 months, whatever it is, then they get all of them back.
And you get your 13 back.
As opposed to going, oh, well, I need the car still. So then you need to be a good boy for however long. Or girl.
Or, if I lose 10 points, I've got to wait 3 years to get them back. Long time.
Huge.
But it's not like it's 3 years from your offense and then you get those points back. It's not like a 3 years down reset.
That's what I'm saying. But if I lose 10 in one fuck up, like double demerits on the blower, I've got to wait 3 years for those bad girls.
It's a lot. Anyway, I found that out this morning, so that's a ball ache.
You got both at the same time.
I got one last week, and then, or maybe the start of the week, and then the other one, Steph sent me on the way while I was on the way in. Again, I wasn't driving, so it doesn't matter, but she sent me a message, and I just said, yes, fuck, bad week for you. And I was like, Jesus.
What's a red light fine?
Let's see here, ladies and gentlemen. Not there. Where is my chat with my wife? It's $480. Didn't know that, thought it was a little less. What did I do? Proceeded through red light camera. Surrey Hills light rail crossing. There you go. Yep, that was me. That was me.
Scat. Scat, scat, scat. They've started bumping up fucking parking fines as well, those grubby little bastards. Up to 120 now.
That's some bullshit right there.
120 is pretty punchy.
That's a lot of money.
Where's that? Where are the 80-day days gone? $80 days gone.
120 is ridiculous.
Yeah, 124 maybe.
That is absurd. Who, I don't know, makes those decisions or what you can do. Do we hold a coup? Do we have to overthrow someone? Or do you just send a letter? Is it who you vote with? Do you vote with your feet?
I don't think anyone's turning that tap off, mate.
Can we bring it down?
It's a river of gold right there.
It is. Listen, I'm not a big local council politics guy, but if I was trying to find ways for cash, that's a good one.
If you wanted to make more money legitimately, you would have parking ranges everywhere. Like I always take the piss out of the parking system.
So do I.
But you run the gauntlet and you will get stung. 100% you get fucking stung. But if I got stung every time I fucked up.
Well, this is how friend of the show Jarchi used to do it when we were both.
He still does.
When we were selling hand sanitizer at the height of the COVID crisis and we were working on William Street just outside of the city. Heaps of parks around there, but we just would never pay for parking. But there was this line where they never seemed to go past, beyond Crown Street or something towards the city. If you're a bit further up, you'd always get done, but a bit further down, it was like. So we just used to do it all the time, and then on the odd occasion, you'd get stung. But Jarch's thing was well, this is basically just I've paid for parking every single day. This $100 fine. I would have had to have paid more than this in parking had I been paying for parking every single day. So I may as well just fucking sit here and
I'm pretty sure he just whacks them on. He's got a payment plan going. And it's into perpetuity.
Yeah, right.
I don't know how many fines he's got, but he's got
interest-free paying off.
And he pays $11 a fortnight or something.
Would that fuck you at the credit card, home loan time? You've been paying off parking fines since 2012.
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
You could be. Anyway, so that's me.
Because at least you're paying them. It's not like they've gone. It'd be a problem if you just didn't fucking pay them, right?
Well, it'd be a big problem.
Huge
That's when they start taking demezers then.
Well, they take your license, Tom. And they go, fuck you, mate.
Can't drive.
Fuck you.
I've had that threatened on me before. So anyway, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Drive safe out there, punters and dribblers.
You do.
Drive nice and safe. I wanted to, Edward, as we sat here, speak to our little mate there, D.O. Dave. Obviously, we were all down at Bondi to watch the great and powerful Nedd Brockmann finish it, the run of runs. Life has felt emptier without his daily updates. But you and I both regrettably couldn't make it to the kick-ons, the after party.
No, we couldn't. Family called.
Family call you call sometime. It is what it is. But I did feel like we let Nedd down. And, I'm sure that as a person who's never met us face to face, he felt that. He would have felt let down by us, and that's on us. But
look, all we can do is try to be better men.
Yeah.
Better humans.
Yep.
Better role models.
Exactly. But D or Dave was down there in his Hello Sport hat, making sure,
Oh, he was out and about.
He was out and about.
He was out and about. I was having a chat with some dribblers when I was down there, and he was letting people know that he was around.
Putting up a flag.
He was being really loud.
Yeah, right.
Going, Eddie, Hello Sport fame, just so that people go,
there's that guy in that Hello Sport hat.
He was walking around running into people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He'd see someone in punters and dribblers hat and absolutely bump him back.
Yeah. I was watching the way he was walking, and he wasn't walking in a conventional manner.
He was walking like Conor McGregor Billy Strut.
He was zigzagging around, running into dribblers. You know?
Was it more difficult? And I want to hear about the after party, Dave, because I did see you there. Was it difficult? I struggled to see anything, so I can only imagine, a man of your stature, and that's not like a throwing shade. But I couldn't see a fucking thing. Could you see anything?
No, I could see nothing. I was standing on the north side of after where the finish line was, not in the kind of tunnel everyone was making.
Yeah.
I saw you walk past around the outside and try.
I didn't say hello.
Thing.
Well, there you go.
You were on the phone and I was trying to yell out, but I was in a crowd of people as well on the tippiest of toes.
I bet.
Trying to see, but I really
Swan
couldn't
Lake
see
in this
anything.
bitch standing on his tiptoes.
That wouldn't have worked.
Reference.
I was on my tiptoes because I'm 6'6", and I could see. Yeah. But you wouldn't have been able to.
I could not see. And I was too late to get there and get the prime position seat of standing on the toilet block as well.
Bruh, standing on the toilet block was a big lift from those dribblers. I was impressed when I came down and saw that.
I was impressed by how full it was.
Oh, she was full to the brim.
It was fucking chock-a-block.
The height of a Bondi summer, you don't see that many people.
No, you don't. I've never seen...
Across the entire beach.
I've never seen anything like it, Tom. It was
like someone had said Justin Bieber was somewhere, or the Beatles, or whatever. But people were running through the streets to get there before he got there.
Mate, it was all happening.
Myself included.
I was at home beforehand and I heard a chopper and I'm like, I wonder if that's for Nedd. And then Lockie Clancy, friend of the show, running coach of Tom and I, he's like, he's on Moore Park Road because he had him on his he was tracking him. And I'm like, it is for Nedd. It was a big hullabaloo.
It was a hullabaloo of justifiable no.
And I can tell you what I like getting around, Tom, because that don't often happen. Hullabaloo.
Yeah, dude.
I was swept up in hullabaloo. Dude.
I was all swept up in hullabaloo, but it was a hullabaloo for the right reasons. And we got down there, saw him fucking finish. I will say this to the organisers, speakers, more of them were needed. More speakers.
Yeah.
More speakers needed. I wanted to hear Matty J of hosting the thing fame, and I wanted to hear Nedd once he got back and had a yarn on the... we were watching the Instagram live while he was talking so we could hear him. And I still couldn't hear him. But speakers were needed. But what a great day.
Funny, I could hear him.
You, I think, were closer maybe than me. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
I have no idea. I was
close.
in 50 different places throughout I just kept moving. Trying to find, a vantage point.
You're trying to find your optimal, your level. Trying to find your level.
Never found a good vantage point.
That's all right.
But I did see him. Hell of a fucking effort.
Hell of an effort. And now there's calls for Australian of the Year, which I would support.
But the voting's closed or something? Is that what it is? They're
We'll
trying to do
open
a
it back
petition?
up.
Yeah, open it up.
How the fuck's the voting close if it's done on the 26th of January?
Who else?
Open it up.
Is there anyone else nominated, Dave? Who's nominated for Australian of the Year?
I'll have a look. But yeah, nominations closed on the 31st of July.
Why?
Why?
The fuck would you do that?
Why?
Is there... you don't need that long to come to a conclusion, do you?
I think, and I'm going off We Can Be Heroes here, and on Manners of Australian of the Year, I turn to We Can Be Heroes
course.
as sort of, you know,
Your
an
yardstick.
authority.
Yep.
I believe, Tom, that the journey to Australian of the Year starts in the states and territories. So each of the states and territories have their own nominee.
Okay.
So you got to get through the heats, as it were, to make the final.
Wow. Okay. You got
I could be wrong.
So this is a real like.
That may speak to why it was cut off early.
I don't know why it would still be cut off early though.
Because you got to get through. They've got to get finalists for New South Wales, come vote, and then.
Then how long does that all take?
Would it shock you if it took fucking the 7 months they've outlined?
It wouldn't shock me in terms of the the inflexibility, unflexibility of everything, generally speaking. But when it comes to matters of the Nedd Brockmann, I'm like, do we just fucking?
I feel like exceptions could be made.
But who's in there? I want to know who's up against if he were allowed in, or who they're like. Have they announced?
I don't think they've announced who the nominees are. Is there? I don't know if there's a short list that they put out. It feels like they just kind of name it on the day.
I mean, if you haven't even put out the list, then just fucking put in Nedd.
Like, are you telling me we've got to wait for 2024?
Well, he's not getting 2024 Australian of the Year.
As in, it's announced in 2024.
But what is he? Does that mean people who are doing shit from July onwards this year can get Australian of the Year next year
That's what I'm saying.
or the year after?
But what I'm saying is, if you're going to vote, right? So Australian of the Year is announced on Australia Day, which is 26th of January. So Australian of the Year for 2022 announced in 2023.
Yes.
I feel like you're not giving Nedd the opportunity to be a winner if you're putting him in the 2023 for 2024 because
No one
the
gives a fuck.
achievement's it's too distant.
That's no disrespect to the achievement, but in that time, no one's going to care about it like they did now. or
The
do
time
now.
is nigh
Yes.
right now. Like, he's hot.
He's hot stuff right now.
He's hot stuff
He's
right
really
now.
hot
And
stuff.
you want to cash in on that cachet.
Yeah.
That would be my opinion.
Cash in on the cash show.
So from that point of view, I think he needs to be fucking put in. I think exceptions need to be made. And I think that the Australian of the Year committee need to have a long, hard look at themselves if they're going to leave this fucking kid out.
How many followers he got on Instagram? Not that that means
200
Australian
and
of the
something.
Year.
200 and something.
228. It's like when he left, it's like running into a new life. You know what I mean? Like when he starts off on the run, he's just a relatively unknown person. And then it's like...
And now he's out.
It's like you're running into an alternate universe somehow.
No, you're running into a new life.
Yeah. Where you are like, with it, you know, but he doesn't see it because he's just in it. Like you see it, you know, with like social and shit if you're looking on your phone. But like by and large, you're just running in the fucking desert. Nothing's going on. And then, you know, you just start getting into these like small towns where it can't start beeping you.
And then you're like,
what
wait,
the
am
fuck?
I Australia's David Goggins?
Dude, what the hell? And
Way
then it's
better.
like coming down to Bondi and you're getting followed by a chop. You're like, oh, I've run into a new life.
Or a new reality?
Both of those things.
Couldn't be. Yeah, both are true.
Now, you met him, Dave. You're at the after party. How was the vibe? How was the atmos?
Now, did you say to me earlier that you snuck in?
I did not sneak in. No, I was welcomed in with open arms. In
you
fact,
snuck
I
in
was
through an
standing
air vent.
outside just minding my own business, and organisers
crack in
came
the
up
door.
and said, "Are you Dior from Hello Sport?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," and they were like, "Oh, we need you to come right in." Rolled out the red carpet. I said, "No, I don't want this to be about me. It's not my moment. It's Nedd's." But they just couldn't resist, and so they got me in there.
I don't think there's ever going to be an occasion where you aren't going to be high for the moment.
Yeah. You're never going to be like...
You're
"No,
going to be
no,
dining out on the moment forevermore, and that's fine. But don't try and convince the punter or the dribbler otherwise. You're a big moment guy.
Yeah, no, I mean, the atmosphere was amazing. It was incredible. All of the biggest movers and shakers around Sydney were there. You know, your Hamish Blakes, your Scott Cams, your Dior Daves, your Rowan Brownings.
Wow.
Yeah,
Royalty.
the vibe was great. Nedd came in. Nedd came in. Everyone was being real, like, nice and polite not to swamp him because obviously everyone wanted to get around him. But, you know, he saw his family. He had friends there. He had to do a few media interviews just on the little balcony at the surf club there.
Yeah, I saw him on the project.
Yeah, and whoever was bloody interviewing him there and had a camera, he was standing next to like 3 chairs, and he was just standing in this interview. I couldn't help but just feel like
Let the kid
sit. He needed.
I
to
saw
sit.
him on the project, and it was probably every single interview did that night. He must have had some serious windburn on the lips, and he'd lubed them up with some chapstick or a pawpaw or a Vaso or something of that persuasion. Shiniest lips in television history, I think. It was all I could look at when he was being interviewed. It was just like, wow, dude, those lips are fucking... They're shiny.
As a pawpaw connoisseur, do you reckon it was pawpaw?
I think it could have been pawpaw, but there is a part of me that thinks it's like... you do get that shine off pawpaw, but I feel like it could have been, a Blistexy sort of something a bit more heavy duty.
Is Blistex... Is that sort of like, does it have medicinal qualities as well?
I don't know, dude. I wouldn't be asking too many medical questions of me as it pertains to sort of ointments and shit. But
I thought you were sort of an ointment guy.
I have been an ointment guy in my past, certainly. There's no doubting my history as an ointment guy. I don't know, like many things, I don't look into it too much.
It is an interesting one when it comes to the balming of one's lips. I've always found it quite interesting, peculiar even, that there is a fascination among the female persuasion of lube and lip up. They like a lubed lip.
And we're talking purely the balming of lip as opposed to the reddening or rouging of lips.
No, just
the balming.
Merely the balming of a lip, Tom. They seem to be far more comfortable with a balmed lip, whereas we sort of like to bareback a lip.
Well, I only would balm a lip if I've got a lip that needs to be balmed.
But they'll balm lip. Like, they just like lip balmed.
Do you think that lip balm, much like does lip balm create the need for lip balm? Like, do your lips become fucking reliant upon balm?
I think 100% it does. I think if you over balm, then you create an environment for yourself where you are now balm reliant.
Yes. And do you think that would be the same for even like body moisturizers and shit like that? Like, I don't do any of that shit.
I think so. I think there's a time and a place for moisturizing of skin, Tom, 100%.
Yeah.
Sometimes skin will dry out. If you've got a really dry, hot day with no moisture in the air, you can dry out.
You can dry out.
But I'll have you know that on the whole, Tom, I feel like my skin does a good job of looking after itself.
Same. Again, there was no moisturizer back in the Dizzy.
Moisturizer, the balming of the lip, and washing of hair. I think they're the 3 big cons in society right now.
But a lip balm at least still does hold a place, because I'm not going to sit here, as we deviate wildly from Nedd Brockmann, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't need a balm every once in a while for the lip. And a balm can save your life when you need it.
Tom, I'm not sitting here and suggesting for a moment that there isn't a place for balm, because there is. Just like there's a place for moisturizer or a place for, fucking after sun, or a place for shampoo.
If you've got poo in your hair.
If someone's put shit in your hair or some sort of prank gone wrong, then it's play on.
Yeah.
If you're finding the smell of a bonfire in your hair fucking annoying, you might want to rinse it out with shampoo. But
they're all very specific moments.
They're exactly much like a balm. Have you run 4,000 Ks from Perth to Sydney? Maybe you'll need a balm.
You might need a balm.
Need a balm.
Yeah.
And in which case, balms play on. And I'd never look down my nose at a man prepared to balm up who's put himself through that time.
No. You never begrudge a man balm if balm is required. But I will raise a cursory eyebrow at a man. At a man balming unnecessarily as I see it.
If you're balming for balm's sake, then we've got big problems.
Or at least I've got some follow-up questions.
Well, I'd ask you to find a seat.
And I'd go, why?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Have you over-balmed before?
Well, you've clearly over-balmed.
Yeah.
And do you want a tissue to pat that thing down? Because it looks ridiculous. It's actually reflecting off the fucking lights. Now, Dave, did you have a chance to meet Nedd?
I did. I had a chance. I mean, I waited at the end until after all the family and friends had gone. But I did. I said g'day to him. I gave him your best wishes and apologies that you couldn't be here.
I bet you didn't do that at all. I did.
Well, no, I actually said to him, because I went up with my mate who was there providing the pizzas, And he said, "Oh, hi, I'm Tyson. We sorted the pizzas out, but like, well done and all that." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, hi, I'm from Hello Sport." And he goes, "Oh, like." He obviously put 2 and 2 together. Not that he recognized me, but he was like, "Oh, D.O. Day." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Yep, and I gave the well wishes of you and all the punters and dribblers, gave my praise and told him of the inspiration. But I'm sure it wasn't anything he hadn't heard before.
You don't think that your words rung in his ear when he was laying his head at the pillow at night, going, "Fuck, that Dio Dave got me up and about."
To be honest, I think he was just
Hadn't really sunk in until Dave told me.
Dio Dave told me I was an inspiration. Oh, that's funny. Nah, dude. Well, that's nice.
It was a great occasion. It was great. Felt privileged to be there.
I love that, mate. Good for you.
Did you say good day to your old mate Rowan Browning?
I did, yeah. We had a long chat. We were standing there for a bit.
Rowan's also a great Australian.
Rowan is a great Australian.
A fast Australian.
He was on board with one of the sponsors that was sponsoring him. That was sponsoring Nedd as well. And they asked him to like run a bit of it with Nedd or something. But he was like, firstly, he didn't know if he could keep up with fucking going that hard for that long. And he's a nice dude, Rowan. Didn't want to take the spotlight away from.
He's
Nedd.
a humble guy.
He is a humble kid.
He's a humble guy. Like he could have kept up, but
I wouldn't
not
think
for
there's
long.
no.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure that he would have been able to hold 5:30 pace, whatever, for like an hour, maybe a bit less.
He said he preferred racing the horse.
Well, I'm sure he did. He's fucking.
Did he get the dub?
No, he did. He beat the horse.
Yeah,
he beat the horse.
I thought he did. Well, congratulations,
There
Ed.
we go.
But you're right. Life is it's a little more hollow now, Tom. It is. I really quite enjoyed fucking checking in every day. Being
Yep.
like, where is that motherfucker at?
Where's he at?
You know the guy that beat him was an ultra marathon runner? Like that was his thing?
Yeah, he wasn't a fucking electrician, but he also wasn't Australian. So I think we just say he's the fastest Australian across Australia.
Well, I don't really care. Like just
Well, I'm just saying if you're looking at that record, he still has the Australian record.
yeah, which is all that really matters.
That's all that matters. Fucking ultra marathon runner. Yeah.
If you've got the AR,
Mm.
that means a lot down here.
Yeah. Oh, that carries a lot of cachet down
A
here.
lot of cachet down here, the AR.
Like if you've got the Australian record for crossing America, no one gives a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Less of a fuck.
Well, less of a fuck. I'd still care.
Down here, we
Yeah, exactly.
Down here,
Down
we care.
here.
Over there, they don't give a
Look,
shit.
an AR is an AR. Doesn't matter where you are.
No.
I'll respect an AR down here.
Well,
till the
down
day
here,
I
it
die.
doesn't matter. But up there or anywhere else, an AR in fucking, pick a country is going to be respected down here. But it may not, Russians may not care for the Australian record crossing Russia.
Probably not, but they should.
Well, fucking oath they should.
Nothing more important than an AR. Tom, I don't know if you've noticed, but I certainly have. I feel myself slipping in earnest into horizontal season.
It's certainly begun.
A switch has flicked in my mind.
Well, this week, it's certainly for you and I. It's been a horizontal week of sorts generally.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, I do. It's a little bit like the warmer days are getting a bit warmer, a bit more muggy. You're in shorts, the sun's up a lot longer. Obviously, that's daylight savings. Footy's over for the most part. Ponies are running. It's coming. It's really coming. I'm not horizontal yet, but horizontal season starts before you are fully horizontal. That's just is what it is.
Well, I'd ask you this. How do you get from upright to horizontal? There is a transition. There's a transition.
Yeah, this is trans horizontal season.
Yeah. We are transitioning.
Yes.
I feel myself slipping further and further.
Can I just have a quick shout out, Eddie? Because I've just noticed this. I've had no beta fever this beta season.
Have you been taking that shit?
I've been fucking pounding Nasonex. Someone else dropped some other stuff off as well, which was fine, but I was in a pretty good rhythm with Nasonex. And I've been pounding that shit every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Rain, hail, or shine.
Shit works.
Fascinating that you've taken this long to try something.
Well, no, I used to just have whatever the tablet was, antihistos. They don't do shit. Can confirm antihistamine is one of the great Walpoles all time.
You've been getting hay fever on the podcast for the last 6 years,
Yep.
except for this year, when you did something about it.
Well, I did preemptive. You got to like you can't wait for the hay fever to hit. That's why it's too late. I've realised.
Yep.
You need to be pounding that shit in like maybe 3 weeks out from spring.
And it will work.
Well, it seems to have. That's by the by. It was more just that I realised where we were in the year and that I'm not getting hay fever anymore. Horizontal season, Eddie, it's on our doorstep. You know what else is on our doorstep? Your wedding just around the corner.
Yeah.
That's creeping up.
It's crept.
It's crept.
Oh, it's crept.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling like a man who's had a wedding creep up on him.
Yeah.
You know? Just trying to fucking piece it all together.
Have we got nerves?
Oh, I'm not nervous. No, I'm not nervous.
Are you writing vows?
I'm excited. Yeah, we are.
Yes, dude.
Yep. Ella's already written hers.
Oh, really?
Yep. Harriet said she cried when she read them.
That Harriet cried or Ella cried?
Harriet cried when she read Ella's.
Wow, dude. I'm a wedding crier as well.
Yeah.
I'm fucking...
So that was nice to hear. Like, okay, what have we got in store for us?
Yeah. Are you going to have something written that you will read, or are you...
I'll read it.
Have you started anything?
I've started. I've put pen to paper, as it were.
Okay. Wow.
But I haven't finalised them, Tom.
No.
I will be finalising them this week.
Do we have like a run time for vows? Like how long do vows go
Not
for?
long.
Relatively.
Maybe 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Not
Short
long.
and sharp, or you
Short
try
and
and pack a lot into that 30 seconds?
No, I don't think so.
You're not a song and dance guy.
I think you got to speak from the heart. You got to get in there and you got to get the job done.
And then get
in a
the
nice,
fuck
in a
out.
beautiful way.
Yeah. Interesting.
Are you going for some sort of kind of overarching metaphor that you take the whole way through the vows? Like you're my captain on this voyage or something
Yeah.
like
Oh
that?
yeah, you reckon? Yeah,
Well, that's a fair question.
it is a fair question. You know,
It may not be a captain though. Like it might be.
yeah, you're my second mate or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's still sailing. It could be. You could be rock climbing guys. You know, you could be on belay. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I will always be on belay for you if you
yeah.
slip off, and I'll fucking
yeah. And I'll belay you.
I'll belay you down.
I'll save you.
Yeah.
And your life.
Yeah.
Listen, Dave, I haven't done that yet.
I'm just don't rule out the belay.
Now that you've put it into my head, I mean, it's worth exploring.
Yeah.
It's worth exploring.
And a rock climbing metaphor could be just what the
Oh, I
doctor
think,
ordered.
look, it could be just what the doctor ordered, Tom. As you know, Ella and I are avid rock climbers. We love it.
Yeah.
We love it. It's where I'm happy.
Yeah, out on the rocks.
It's out on the rock.
Out on the rock face.
Out on the rocks. But, mate, it's coming together. It's there's a lot to organise. There's a lot doing.
Yeah.
A lot doing. Ella and I wouldn't say are super organised individuals. Like, we like sort of kicking the can down the road a little bit.
I see. Fuck. That makes me feel less organised because I feel like you're much more organised than I am.
Like, we only realised, like, last week that we didn't have wedding bands.
That's right. You went to. Did you get them?
We've picked them, yeah.
You've
We
picked
picked them
them?
yesterday.
You found them.
Yep.
How'd
Shout
you
out to
go?
Reese.
Reese is the man that helped you, or is
Reese
that
is the man
place?
that helped us. Yep. Mate, went well.
You're not a big ring guy.
No, I'm not. But I was like, fuck it, I'll get it. And if I don't want to wear it, then I won't. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if it comes off my finger, never to go back on, maybe like that's fine. At least I've got it.
At
Somewhere.
least you got it somewhere.
You know what I mean?
I guess. I mean, I wear mine.
I know you wear yours.
I'm not a big ring guy technically either, but I probably was more of a ring guy coming through the
I'm
grades.
sure if I put it on, I'll forget about it.
You do forget about it. I actually feel now a bit weird
Because when I was
don't have
trying it on, I was like, that looks weird.
Yes.
That looks really weird.
No, it does look. It feels weird when you first look at it.
Because I'm not a ring guy.
No.
Not a jewelry guy historically. Save for the fucking DEFCON 1 dog tag I wore when I was like 19. I must admit that.
Do you have that anywhere still?
I don't. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it for many years.
No, but when you do first put them on, it's weird. But as I said, now I'm like, at one point, I think I said it on the potty, it must have been like, a year or so ago, but I just at one point was like, where the fuck's my wedding ring gone? Like, I hadn't taken it off, I hadn't done anything, and it had slipped off somehow. Found it like in the couch or some shit.
Is it too big?
Yeah, I got it, you know, when it's like when
You want to grow into it?
you know, you had school shoes as a kid, room to grow.
Did you? Why'd you do that?
No, I didn't. I just went into a place and just got one. Like, I wasn't even with Steph when I got this. I just went, oh, I'm just going to get one. Like, again...
So you bought it on site?
Yes. I didn't get it resized or anything. But I actually prefer a little bit of fucking room anyway. Like, it wouldn't fall off if I'm just shaking it, although I am telling a story about how it just flew off somehow. It could slip off in, like, if it's soapy, or like if I was swimming in the ocean, maybe you'd take it off. But, like...
Old mate was showing us this ring that had come in for, like, a client. And he was like, check out this, like, Kim Kardashian ring. It was so fucking over the top. Like, literally that high.
Oh, like a diamond?
Yeah. I'm like, you are literally just begging someone to cut your finger off.
Yeah. Or you're trying to make it look like you just won the NBA title.
Yeah. You didn't.
No.
You didn't ring
Huge
shit.
fucking diamond.
So over the top. I'm like, that is
I feel like it'd be embarrassing a little bit.
so embarrassing. And it would get caught on shit all the time.
Yeah, imagine trying to put your hands in your pockets.
You wouldn't be able to.
No.
You wouldn't be able to. Seriously, that's how big this fucking thing was. Pockets are off limits. Your pockets are out
Yeah,
and
say
about.
goodbye to pockets.
Gloves? Nah. Absolutely not. It'll be a fucking nightmare. Couldn't.
What do you think about this? They can now, and Dave, you're going to have to do a bit of Dioring here. They can now just make diamonds.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. They've been able to do it for ages.
Yeah, but they can just make them.
Mm-hmm.
But they also can, get a fucking child slave to dig them out of a mine in the Congo.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lot of people don't like the made diamonds, even though they're exactly the same.
I completely understand what you're talking about. I think that if you made a fake one in a lab, people wouldn't be able to tell.
But they're not fake.
No, but you know what I mean.
No,
A
yeah, I
man-made
do.
one. Man-made.
Yeah.
Man-made. As in, didn't take billions of years to form. A lab ring. Lab diamond.
Lab diamond.
People, unless you knew what the fuck you were looking at, you'd have no idea.
No idea. But don't you reckon it's also kind of fucked up? It's like, no, I want one. Like, I don't know the diamond game, but like, are there any that are ethically sourced?
Well, I think there's Australian diamonds, so you'd have to think that they're
There would be
relatively
some,
ethical.
Yeah, okay. They're
ethically
not
sourced.
all just from one region of the world.
I mean, listen, we all saw Blood Diamond, and it shocked the world, really.
I actually haven't seen it.
Haven't you seen it?
I know it, and I've
Haven't
seen
you
parts
seen
of
it?
it. No.
Really?
No.
Great movie.
I know. It's
Leo's just working. Leo's just doing the damn thing, dude. A lot of time for Leo. But Ella and I started to get onto, we're having a conversation about diamonds, all this shit. She was bringing that up the other night. Then we got onto yarns about other rare minerals, gold. Do you know that the entire amount of world's gold is literally, if you put it in a cube, it would be 20 meters by 20 meters by 20 meters. That's it. Not much.
Is that...
Look it up, Dave. That's what the internet suggested. Also, gold not formed on the planet. Gold formed in like stars and shit.
So we don't just have like naturally occurring gold.
So it doesn't diamonds, for example,
It's pressure.
pressure over billions of years formed on the earth. Gold, nah, formed out there, landed here.
Didn't
Space
know that. That whole like 20 meters worth of gold thing is, if that's true, then that's fucking wild. Because you see some of the nuggets those fuckers found during like the gold panning days.
Oh, fuck yeah.
The gold rush.
The gold rush.
That would have been a fun time.
It would have been. Imagine just getting down there going, there's gold about.
Dude, gold rush would have been fun.
There's gold about down there.
What are they called? Like fucking...
Pioneers?
Pioneer prospectors?
Prospectors, dude.
So I don't know if that figure you were quoting, Eddie, might have been like all the gold that exists now, but it's saying here that all the gold ever mined in the world amounts to around 8,000 cubic meters, which is still, when you think about it, not heaps. Like 8 kilometers
different.
that way is it, you know?
Not the same.
Not the same as 20 cubic meters.
Well, slightly different.
Not the same at all.
No.
8,000 cubic meters, by the way, isn't 8 kilometers.
No, I didn't.
Well, it's 8 kilometers cubed.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
No.
What is it?
It's the whole area.
Yeah.
So it's not 8,000 that way, 8,000 that way, 8,000 that way.
Because it's like to the power of 3.
It's
to the
the
power.
area of the cube. I'm just laughing that it's
No, it's nowhere
significantly...
near. But do we trust Dave?
I don't trust either of you now, to be honest.
If you're in the gold game,
There was just no way that 20 meter thing was real.
That's what I
because
was. When I read it, I go, that can't be
I was
right.
like, I've seen the gold rush where it's like huge nuggets of gold. I'm like, well, that's fucking 3 meters gone right there.
Great point. It did seem a little.
No, it's not a little. Shockingly. Like when you think about the fucking golden palaces and shit that people...
Look up so 20 metres cubed gold. See what comes up.
Yeah. Check that out.
Unless I dreamt it, it never happened at all.
Could that... I've been having funky dreams this week. We've been having funky dreams.
Okay, I think
Funky dreams.
I think that quote is attributed to Warren Buffett.
Warren,
who said...
on the older side.
Yeah, I think he's trying to say that all the gold that exists above the ground, maybe. So maybe, yeah, I don't really know. It's not...
No, it's
definitely been said, so you didn't dream it, but it doesn't seem to have
But
been
now
confirmed.
it's like, why is that being said?
Yeah.
Because those answers couldn't be further from the
couldn't be
fucking...
further apart. I'm hoping for your case that it's the funky dreams that we've been having this week off the back of the weekend.
I've been having funky dreams.
Funky.
Newsflash, can't remember any of them, but they've been funky.
Oh, it might have been weird as fuck. I was having nightmares.
My dreams are always weirdest on the Monday.
Monday
night dreams, I'm like, hang on to your fucking hats because we're in for a wild ride.
Sunday night, Monday night, worst sleeps I've had in a long time. Sweaty and fucking weird dreams.
Might have been
nightmares.
great. I've said to Ella, I go, listen here, sweetheart. There'll be no if and there'll certainly be no button. Aircon on. Aircon's on. I need it cold in here. I need it regulated. I need it chilly.
Yes.
Not too chilly. But I need to know.
Goldilocks zone.
Fucking oath. I go, there'll be no humidity on my watch. Not now. Not with the way I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And it's been fucking terrific.
So I'm house sitting, obviously, as you know, for my mother and her.
Why haven't you got the AC on?
So listen, Zoe, youngest daughter, one on Tuesday.
Shout out
happy
to her.
birthday. She was in the cot next to us in the master bedroom. But then she went through a period of sleeping badly, so it would just be Steph in there, and then I was sleeping in Evie's room, and Evie was in a cot. Now Evie's in the bed in that room because she can climb out of her cot, so we're like fucked. So I was in the bed with Evie, Steph in the bed with Zoe. And then Steph and I were like, well, this is ridiculous. I haven't slept in the same bed as my wife for like fucking 4 weeks. So then we were like, well, let's go up to the attic. And I'm like, well, why the fuck are we in the attic? Why are we leaving this child with the master bedroom? And Steph just feels weird for some reason about changing rooms with Zoe. So now I'm sleeping on a fucking futon in an attic and it's like 400 degrees.
No AC up there. You've got yourself into a right pickle.
Right pickle. And she's like, her thing is like, if we change rooms, they might not sleep and we got to resettle them. And I'm like, well, you can't argue with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you can't sleep now. So were you fucked anyway?
You're fucked no matter which way you go. And you know what Evie started doing?
I'd be going down to the cool. I'd be going, fuck it. I'm not sleeping up here. I'm dying.
The last 2 nights, Evie's come up into the attic where Steph and I have been sleeping. She wakes up at anywhere from like midnight to 3 in the morning. She comes in. She's like, can I come sleep with you guys? So we're like, all right, get in. She gets into bed and goes, Dad, go clean your teeth. And I go, what? She goes, you stink. And I'm like...
She's really dining out on that.
Dude, she's like, you stink, go clean your teeth. I'm like, no. And she's like, get out of the bed. And I'm like, what the fuck? She comes in and I'm kicked out of my bed in the middle of the night and then I got to go and sleep somewhere else.
Where do you sleep?
In fairness, I just go downstairs and sleep in her room and it's a much better sleep. But I'm still like, you little asshole, getting up in here. I'm now self-conscious. I can't smell, so I don't know if my breath is funky in the middle of the night.
Do you ask Steph?
Not in that moment. I just go, okay, I'm going to go. I'm not going to brush my teeth at 3 in the morning, I can tell you. I do that before bed every night.
She's working you out.
Yeah.
Real quick.
No, she's got me.
She's already got you.
But
You're in
getting
big trouble.
kicked out and sent to another room in the middle of the night, I'm sleeping all over the place at the moment. One night I slept in 3 beds.
Jesus Christ.
Started upstairs, went down to Evie's room, then went into Zoe's room.
It's just different lives at the moment, right? Sometimes I've been going to bed and waking up at 7 going, good knock.
Yeah.
That was a great knock.
Yeah. I did have one good knock post Bucks. I went from like 8 till 7. That was glorious, even though I felt like arse when I woke up.
It's interesting, right? Like if I've had a big weekend I don't know if this is like weird or not. I usually fall asleep on my side. Usually I'll fall asleep on my right side. If I've had a big weekend on the Sunday night, I have to fall asleep on my back for some reason.
I don't pay any attention to what side I'm sleeping on. I'm probably, I think I sleep on all of my sides. I'm a 360-degree sleeper.
You don't have a routine?
Not really. I probably toss and turn a little bit before I find
I'm talking about getting down to fucking
sleeping.
to business, to sleeping.
I might be on my front looking left, on my front look well.
You toss it up every night?
Front looking right. It's whatever feels right in the moment.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
I'm only ever front or back, never sides.
But do
I
you ever-
I
do
have
you-
a routine. Like I know I'll usually fall asleep on my back, but then I'll wake up and I'll be on my front.
Do you dry yourself the same way every time or differently? Do you have a routine for drying?
No.
You don't?
As in
I don't.
What is wrong with you?
What do you mean a routine like with a towel?
Yeah.
You just go where it's wet.
Nah. It's the same every time for me, bro.
No, yeah, you have the same routine.
Fucking oath you do.
Mine's not a
Around the
conscious
neck.
routine. Put it that way.
Think about it when you get home and have a shower. Like, I'm always the same. Hair first, back,
See,
arms.
I think doing hair first is a mistake. I think
Why?
Because that's what holds the most water, and your towel then is fucking soaked out the gate. What you actually want to do is pat your face a little bit, but then generally just get the body done and then finish with the
that's
hair.
not my routine, though.
I know it's not your routine. I'm just saying your routine.
My hair's
is
not
dumb.
that long.
It's fucking long enough to hold water.
Nah, but I don't.
Especially with your fizzy fro, it's like a fucking
afterwards, I don't go, Jesus,
sponge."
this towel's fucking soaked.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you're trying to be optimal because you want to have a dry towel to get rid of the surface area. Again, this sounds like I've got a routine. I don't. I just do like arms, pits, fucking body,
But
legs, back.
if I don't do the hair first time, then I've got to go back and redo things because the hair will get my back wet.
No,
you know
you
what I
got
mean?
to pat it. You got to do a little patting. That's a problem. You got to like your hair does hold a lot of
I'm
moisture.
not a patter. I just rip in, get the job done.
So also, what's your routine?
I think it's hair, then back, armpit, arm, leg, groin, sack,
Arsehole. Finish with the arsehole?
I think so. Again, unless you're doing it, it's hard to remember. It's something like that, but it's always the same.
It's always the same?
Yeah, always.
So you're a bit like smudge, pad, like, facing up.
See, but I would like if you dry yourself, once, often twice a day. I would have thought that a routine would set in.
See, I don't know if it's a routine as much as just a flow. Like when you think about brushing your teeth with your bad hand, it's just it's a nightmare. But when you're just doing the damn thing with your teeth, I don't think that I'm consciously like, well, now I go this side, and now I go this. I'm just like, let's just.
For example,
I'm in flow state.
For example, I always start when brushing the teeth. I start back left, always.
See, you're a fucking weirdo. Like,
Where the fuck would you start?
Wherever I feel like it in the moment.
Wherever you feel like?
Yes.
Bullshit.
It's not bullshit. It's not bullshit.
Yes, it is.
Leave a comment if you fucking have a routine.
Yes, that's bullshit. You don't start wherever you feel like
Mate,
it.
the fact that you
You're
know
all
it's
over
back,
the map
the
over
fact
there.
that you know it's back left to me says you think about shit too much sometimes.
I just
go for it.
But like, I'm not going to start up top. I'm going to start the easiest. I'm right-handed, so back left.
Is that the easiest? Why not like
Because you go across your body, bang, instead of going jamming up that way.
mate, again.
Or flipping it.
Nah.
Is that weird?
I think that I'm not saying it's weird because I'm not shocked.
I'm
by
shocked
it.
that you don't have routines.
Yeah,
dude.
see,
I don't have a routine. Tobler, I don't think you have one either, looking over there.
I don't think I have a brushing
Yeah,
teeth
you're
routine,
outnumbered here, Eddie.
Yeah.
But I've definitely got the towel one. I'll vouch for you on that.
I think
don't feel
I
like I'm
reckon that
getting overly
society might be split down the middle between like routine guys and girls and flow state operators.
Do you reckon it's 50-50?
I don't know if it's 50-50.
hard to say.
It's hard to say, but I'm certainly more flow state.
Are you toilet paper over or under?
Over.
Yeah.
Under, it gets caught on the wall.
Under
Makes no sense.
makes no sense.
But I don't care, but
I'll change it.
Yeah,
I'll change it. I'll change it.
No, I'll change
No,
it.
no. I don't care, but I do, again, raise a cursory eyebrow going, what psychopath has been here before, mate?
What's the point of this?
Who's been here before, mate?
Like, it's surely at some point. Again, it probably also depends on like how close the roll is to the wall. Because if it's backwards and it's jammed up against a wall, then pulling it out sometimes becomes like you aren't able to get enough of the toilet paper that you are requiring for the job that you need. Right? It'll break off. Got to go up. I'd prefer to have one clump of toilet paper, not like broken apart bits.
Do you fold or scrunch?
I am probably a hybrid of the two. I like to find a mid-ground of a fold, but it's a bit of a rakish, devil-may-care fold because the surface area actually increases a lot more if it's like a bit sort of like a flowy fucking summer dress of folding as opposed to like really tuck your shirt in, comb your hair sort of
It's a loose fold.
It's a loose fold.
Yeah.
Because a scrunch, the problem with a scrunch is you might have missed a finger and before you know it, it's slipped through as you're wiping and now you've got turd under the nails.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want turd under the nails.
If you can avoid it.
Also, for those out there that stand up to wipe, big questions.
Or people that...
Big questions.
Or men who wipe from the front and smear poo on
nah. Nah, you don't wipe it onto your sack, mate. That's fucked up. I'm sorry it is.
That's a men-specific thing. If you've got a dick and a ball, or two balls...
Go up the back.
You can't be bringing it forward.
No.
Although I imagine even with women bringing it forward is
Look. Given the differences in gooch length, Tom.
What is the difference in gooch length?
Well, women's gooches are a lot smaller.
Again, not something I've thought about, but
they are. Well, if you sort of like if you imagine the world down there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They are.
Yeah, no,
they are. The bum hole and the J are remarkably close.
They are. There's much less gooch to work with.
They're next door neighbours.
Can you?
Yeah. Well, the problem is with women is that I
don't trust a woman going back.
No, a woman shouldn't be wiping.
You're wiping it in.
The front. Yeah. No. That's not. Everyone just wipe from the back and play on.
Yeah. No, Eddie's exactly right. If you're wiping in the direction of your bits, then you run the risk of getting poo, which is very dangerous.
Well, I don't think it's a risk. I think it's a real possibility.
Yeah. Well, when being taught how to change babies' nappies, and I've got two girls, they're always like, wipe back, bruh. Never wipe towards the front. So it actually makes perfect sense that adult females shouldn't be doing that either.
Yep.
Do you know what's crazy? I was reading somewhere the other day that the skin that surrounds your ass is like in some ways immune to the bacteria that comes from poo, right? Because if you had a cut on like anywhere on your body and you decided to rub poo in it, that's going to get infected. But the skin around your ass has some special thing in it that means it won't get infected by the poo.
It's like when you find you see those documentaries where they find like a pocket of the earth, which is like where like the water is the hottest part on the planet, like in the ocean, because there's like a hole that opens.
Talking about the vents?
The vents, thank you. And they're like, these are so hot, life shouldn't exist. And they go and study it, and there's life everywhere.
Well,
same thing with the asshole.
Wherever there's liquid water, life we have found.
Despite how hot it is.
Despite the hotness.
So I like that even though the bumhole shouldn't, have, like, it's all skin at the end of the day, I like that the asshole's adapted to deal with the heat of the Earth's core, if you will.
It's not the only thing. The butthole has adapted to many things.
It's adaptive. No, it's adapted. Yeah, it's the butthole is the most amazing part of the human body. I think you could argue.
You could argue strongly. Probably doesn't get the raps it deserves.
I don't think the asshole gets the raps it deserves, like, at all.
Mate. You want to talk about tough carries? You want to talk about big lifts?
Yeah, huge lifts.
That thing's fucking getting into some work.
Getting into all the work, and it's never given praise. In fact, it's seen as a pariah. It's seen as a place you don't want to go near.
Exactly. But
although it has been given a bit of like, I feel like the asshole has been given a bit more positive press of late in terms of the eating ass movement.
About time.
There's a renaissance.
There is a renaissance for eating ass.
About time. Well, I think it's just people going, you know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you're out there doing the fucking tough stuff.
I'm going to need to come and pay you the
and no one, I was forgotten about for millennia.
Yeah.
And now people are going, hang on.
Come here.
Come here.
Come here.
Let me give you a kiss. Maybe a bit of a lick.
Let me eat you.
Yeah. This is how much you mean to me.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for the Rectal Renaissance.
Yeah, Rectal Renaissance. And what a time to be alive.
Yeah. I'll write about it in the history books. 2020, well, the 20s.
Yeah, the 20s.
The Roaring 20s.
The Roaring 20s.
We're part of the Rectal Renaissance.
Oh, God. It's true. Tom, this won't shock you that our maths has once again failed us. 20 metres by 20 metres by 20 metres is 8,000.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, okay. Well, at least we caught it before someone else did.
We caught it, yeah, listen, but there's people screaming.
People have already left a
People
comment,
have already
though.
left comments going, these fucking idiots.
In fairness to us, doesn't seem like it. You know what I mean? Like 20 metres by 20 doesn't seem like 8,000 whatevers.
It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't. It's
That's
not
so
intrinsic. But again, hate to say it, I was right.
Well, you were right. No, you were.
That's not much gold.
That's not much gold, but it sounds like it's actually
Although
more.
20 metres high is pretty fucking high.
Well, they said that what can fit into there is 171,000 tons.
Okay, that's a fair bit. It's still not that
But
much.
eyeballing it,
No, exactly.
you'd be like, fuck, that's not much.
Yeah, it's not much. It's not much. It's a lot, but it's not much when you think about all the gold everywhere.
There's gold everywhere.
But again, like I formulate 90% of my opinions based off vibe in the moment, right?
Yep.
So in the moment I go, bullshit, that's
Yep.
fucking nothing.
Yep.
Then I'm told I'm wrong and I go, well, you shouldn't have listened.
Correct. It's like that statistics question that's doing arounds where if you've got a room of 26 people, there's a 50% chance that someone shares a birthday.
Say that again?
If you got 26 people in a room,
Oh, sorry, Dave is just getting that up. That's pretty fucking big. So it's 143 metres high. What the fuck's that?
because it's not,
Oh, it's just not square. That does look pretty big.
it looks a lot bigger like that.
It's huge. Still, though, entire world, big place.
Big
Lot
place.
of gold.
Lot of gold. If you got 26 people in a room, there's a 50% chance that that someone in the room shares a birthday. So you hear that and you're like, that's bullshit, but it's not. Vibe can abandon you sometimes.
Vibe can abandon the best of us.
Yep.
Random topic. Shout out to friends of the show, Jake McLennan, James Harvey, Mark Roddy, Tom Madden, and all of their beautiful partners' wives for fucking 4 babies in the last 5 days in our friendship group.
It's a lot of babies.
It's a shitload of babies.
A lot of babies at the same time.
A lot of babies.
Heaps.
I say that because Sherman, Jake McLennan, his son, shares a birthday with Zozo. So if they're in a room, then they're fucking making that thing work. I don't understand, though, from a...
Hang on, was Zozo yesterday?
Tuesday. So yesterday, Harvey and Roddy both had babies. Tuesday, Sherman. And then like 5 days before that or something was
My
team
sister was yesterday. My grandma was yesterday. Nick Mallet was yesterday. And his fiancée, Shah, was yesterday.
So we were going for a quinella in our friendship groups. Joyce, Newbie, and Sherman. So I think Joyce's daughter's on the 16th of October. Newbie's son's on the 17th of October. Or 15th of October, 16th of October. Zoe's the 18th of October. And Sherman was fucking 18th as well, but it was a day late for the quinella.
Devo.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Didn't jag the quinella.
Didn't jag it. Never have, actually.
I wonder what the most common day is. It'd have to be like 9 months after fucking
New Year's,
wouldn't it?
September. Is there a most common birthday?
Most common birthday, it looks like it is September. There are a few dates September.
There's always been a lot fucking going around in September. Always.
Yep.
People fuck in January, dude. Simple as that.
Summer. Summer loving.
Summer loving.
I think summer's the best time of the year to fuck, right?
I wonder if that's in Australia. I wonder if in the European, Northern Hemisphere, Tom, would it be for them like April?
Well, whenever their summer is.
So like, no, but their summer's like, let's say it's July, 9 months later is fucking, what, April, May?
Yeah, right. So so it's still summer loving though.
Yes, but just different outputs.
So
Different
is
summers.
it, hemisphere.
Different summers.
Hemisphere birth dates.
Yep. Look, really riveting stuff.
Well, listen, I mean, these are real questions. These
These are important questions.
real important
How many
questions.
people have you met in your life with the same birthday as you?
None.
None?
Never. But which I'm genuine, 10th of June. But I know Elizabeth Hurley is the 10th of June.
I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying that's the only one I know.
Cool.
I also like there was something, you know, when there are like those things where you just like, you might be reading about something. I was reading basically about some psychotic serial killer from like in the sort of 1800s. I think it was a chick. And I think she was like hung on my birthday in that year, in like 17 something. I was like, oh, fuck, that's etch. It was just one of those things where I read a story about my birthday being tied to a really scat
dude,
party
there would have been edge shit happening on my birthday.
Plenty on everyone's probably over throughout history, but it's just like you come across it and you're like, ugh, let's forget that quickly.
Tom,
Yeah,
you've got the same birthday as Ryan Pappenhausen and Kyle Sanderlands.
Really? You got a bit of Kyle about you? You got a bit of Kyle about you?
Well, I have made my ring to grow into.
I think I'm Oprah Winfrey off the top of the dome.
What's
I've
your
got
date?
a lot of time for.
What date?
January 29.
Should have known that. I thought you were January 26th.
Not many people know my birthday.
Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert.
Adam Lambert?
Wow.
I'm just going through the list here. Heather Graham.
Heather Graham.
No idea who that is.
She was in The Spy Who Shagged Me. Wait, the second Austin Powers. She was like the
No,
chick.
yeah, the Spy Who Showed Me. International Men of Mystery is the first one.
Yeah, Oprah and Greg Louganis.
Greg Louganis.
Don't know who that is.
He
either.
was the diver, the
Yeah.
Olympic diver who fucking had AIDS, I think, while he was diving, hit his head on the diving board, cut himself open and bled out into the pool.
And died.
No.
But he leaked like AIDS blood into the pool during the time when AIDS was really fucking going. I think that's true.
Yeah, as
Jesus.
far as I'm aware, that's true.
I could be wrong with that one.
Great.
Well, I mean, it's the fuck. I mean, that one's not particularly great.
Great.
That one is what it is. But Oprah,
I'll take Oprah and
take
fucking
Oprah. Heather Graham.
Call it a day.
Heather Graham.
Yeah.
She might have also been in Boogie Nights.
She was
banging.
hot. She's hot.
Wow, Eddie, your birthday as well in 1980 was the day that the Rubik's Cube made its international debut.
There you go.
Never sold one.
I probably have.
Like fuck.
I reckon I probably have.
Oh, I don't think there's any chance of that.
I don't have a lot of Rubik's Cube in me.
No, well, that's fine.
No, you got to know what you are. And I'm not a
You're
Rubik's
not a Rubik's Cube guy. Have you seen that footage of the guy juggling Rubik's Cubes and solves them?
Again, though, you know what that is to me? Obviously, it's very difficult, but it's the equivalent of when you see those guys who are like doing really ridiculous exercises, and you'd see it on like House of Highlights, and people are like, wow, that's fucking crazy. It's like a guy trying to do a backflip and dunk a fucking thing in a cup of milk and land it. You're like, sure, bro.
It's just,
I mean, this is...
it's impressive.
It's impressive.
It's so impressive.
Now I'm eyeing it. It's...
Look at that. And when they slow it down, they show how he moves them.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I've got to work out. I mean...
Well, the naked eye, Tom, real times, they say, bang. See that?
That's fucking absurd. That's actually more impressive than any of those hardos doing the backflips and shit.
Look, like that is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Juggling itself is already a bit of a ball ache. Let alone solving 3 Rubik's Cubes at once while juggling. How do you get into the fucking juggling Rubik's Cube racket?
Oh, mate, it's what a racket that is. Like, is he the first man to do this? Did he come up with this?
This is significantly more impressive than the gym exploits of people doing like chin-ups with their dicks and shit. Hold on, I want to see him finish this.
Maybe fucking fasten him up. You get the vibe here.
Oh, speed it up. We're getting close.
But so, like, he's made incredible progress.
Yeah, as you start
I think
to see
one of
some
them's already done.
really developed sides there. Loving his get up. Shout out to the bow tie. Go on the big lift.
Bang.
Oh,
That's absurd.
Dude. What a sicko.
Yeah. Fastest time to solve 3 Rubik's Cubes while juggling.
Very, very specific
That's
record.
fucking niche as shit.
That's a fucking effort. That's actually very impressive.
Wild stuff.
Now, when we do talk cricket on the show, we are doing it thanks to our good friends at KO. Punters and dribblers catch every game of the Cricket World Cup live and uninterrupted during play, maybe. On KO, it's on now. The pre-tournament game's still going on. They're still the tournament games, but they are obviously the beta bowls to get into the main one. Now, Australia are taking on England this Saturday.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. We were doing a live stream for this one, but it's now been moved a week later. But this one is happening 6 p.m. On Saturday. Before we get into specifically some of the results, just cricket generally, I'm not sure what to make of this sponsorship situation going on in cricket. Apparently, and I haven't, like, the vibe or the understanding I have is that, like, Paddy Cummins, not a fan of Alinta Energy as the main sponsor and, like, their effect on climate, and has potentially expressed his, like, intention to not want to have them on a shirt, or, like, he wouldn't want to wear the sponsor, or he doesn't want to.
Sorry.
You should have just yawned. Honestly, if you feel like, I just yawned because that face was fucking hard to look at.
Okay.
It looked weird.
Did it?
You all right?
Yep. This is what I read last night.
And just get up to speed on it, Dave.
This is what I read last night. He went to the powers that be, the power brokers, Tom, at Cricket Australia, and said, listen, I don't feel comfortable wearing the shirt that has the main sponsor as Alinta Energy, because it didn't feel right to him wearing a sponsor who's one of the dirtiest polluters in Australia, who doesn't have plans to switch away from coal-powered energy sources until 2046. Like that, he found that alarming, and so he said, listen, I don't think that they should be a major sponsor of ours given his beliefs on climate change, is the nuts and the bolts. So apparently what they've done is they've actually fucked them off.
Yeah.
Off the back of what he said. So they're on there for one more year and then they're done.
I don't know how to feel about this. Like, I certainly wouldn't. I'm not one of those motherfuckers who's like, oh, shut up and play cricket. But there is a point of going like, well, like you can, I'm sure if you dug deep enough into Combank, who were the fucking major sponsor, or maybe they're still a major sponsor, like you're going to find some dicey shit. Potentially everywhere. And then there's like, some people say it's a false equivalency to be like, you drive a fucking Range Rover or you're flying to India and it's super polluted. I actually don't think that I think it's reasonable to at least ask that question where you're going like, you could have a fucking Tesla instead of a Rangy. Or, if you are going to be making these, you got to really be about it, I think, if you're going to go to your major, like, as the captain of the cricket side, to be able to dictate the major sponsors of the game, I don't know. I'm a bit like, what the fuck? How's that work?
Mate, it depends how you want to look at it, right? Like, if he believes passionately about it and he wants to flex his political might, as it were, from a cricket perspective, then fucking go for gold. Like, it can allow things to get done, right?
Yes.
However, I do agree that if you're going to be about that life, you need to be about that life. Now, I saw the Daily Mail article saying that he flies first class, which apparently is 7 times more polluting than regular class. Or economy rather. I don't know how that works. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I would maybe think that there are less seats in first class, so it's like the amount of space you're taking up on that flight as a portion of the flight.
Right, that actually makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense.
Sorry for being a genius for a second.
No, that does make sense.
That was impressive though, right?
And they said he drives a Rangy and shit, but like maybe he did drive a Rangy, now he doesn't. You know what I mean?
Of course,
they've dug up old photos. And shit.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't, mate. It's one of those things where it's sort of like if he feels like he's making positive change and this does amount to positive change, then sure. I just don't know how effective something like that is.
But also, where do you draw the line? And also, I think one of the things he said was like there are plenty of players who, like you might have like an Usman Khawaja, for example, who doesn't have like alcohol sponsors on his jumpers and shit like that, which is fine. I guess you just have to try and work out like where the balance of power sits in a situation like this and like how much you want to have a player or players be dictating this sort of shit. It's like, well, where's your employees? And I understand maybe you don't want, and I don't know if Alinta Energy are particularly bad. Maybe they are. But there is a reality to the world that like, if you go far enough, everything's fucking dodgy. Now, maybe that is like, yeah, sure. Well, does that mean that you just stop giving a fuck? Or should you be a person who makes a stand? So I can respect the guy for making a stand, but I am a bit like, Jesus Christ. They're also doing it in the netball.
Look,
The
I
netball
don't.
one's a little bit different.
I don't know enough about the lay of the land. Is like the God's honest truth. I would have thought though that if you're going to be an energy provider in Australia, you got to be a bit dirty. You have to be. Like we don't have the ability to service the energy demand without going a little fucking dirty.
And what would dirty mean?
Fossil fuels.
Right, yeah.
Coal.
Well, that's
Gas.
all of it, isn't it?
Et al. Like you can't, as much as people want to say that we can rely exclusively on solar and fucking, hydro, we can't at the moment. So if you are going to be providing energy, invariably, coal's going to be part of that. But I can't speak to how if maybe Alinta's a bit like old school. We're like we're hanging on for I
think maybe the thing was like they aren't committing to. Is that what you just said? They aren't committing to
closing coal. They're not committing to no coal until
2047.
2047.
Good memory. And it says they were rated 2 out of 5 stars in the Green Electricity Guide, which I guess isn't good.
That's not great.
Yeah, but also like Milo gets 4 out of 5 fucking health stars. So like, what are we talking about? Do you know what I mean? I don't trust them.
I love that we're running Milo up the same flag.
But I don't run. I don't.
No, I'm
trust
with you.
that
I'm with you.
shit.
That's a great point. Milo should not be getting 4 out of 5. Nor should Cocoa Pops being,
Yeah, and then I remember someone explaining, being like, "But Milo gets 4 out of 5 in its category."
Yeah, which is like
So
next
it's
to
like
Mars
better
bars and
sugar.
shit. Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right.
Shout out to Milo. That's not a shot at Milo either.
Fuck no, dude. Australia's been, nourishing the minds, the bodies, the souls of many young Australians for, nearing on, I would say, 150 years.
Maybe 250 years.
Not the point.
No. But it does raise questions generally, like what if they then can't secure a fucking sponsor? Or what if it's like a meat-based sponsor and then Zampa, who's a vegan's like, and I'm just using him as an example.
Yep.
Is like, fuck that. I'm not, where do you, like, you're just going to be constantly dealing with people who may have different causes, or a bank. And you're like, well, this bank actually fucking is really dodgy in some way that I don't see fit. Like, and then is it just Pat Cummins? Is it like, do you need to be locked into the Australian side to have a voice forever? Because if you're a fringy and you start fucking whinging, you're like, all right, bruh, well, we'll see you later. Back to the Shield.
I think realistically, the fact that this Australian captain means his words carry a bit more weight.
Well, fuckloads more weight.
Well, significantly more weight.
Almost all of it.
Yeah. I don't think that old Fringy gets fucking anything. I think shut up and play, bruh.
I think now it's interesting as well, like in the modern day where athletes have kind of become more than just athletes. Like, people want their personal profile. People want all that stuff that surrounds not just them playing the sport, but their life. And kind of how we expect to see that from people without that interfering with their sponsors and whatever. And also just the kind of reversal of like, if you were sponsored by like Nike, let's say, and they saw you wearing something else, like they have every right being your sponsor to say, we don't like you doing that. But if you're someone who's being sponsored by someone, you can't say to them, we don't like that you do that.
I think the problem I potentially have with it is that using the Australian side as an example, they're actually representing Australia and they're pulling on the Australian jersey, so to speak. It's not theirs.
Yeah.
Like it can get a bit messy, right? So like his personal beliefs he doesn't vibe with Alinta Energy, right? Which is cool. But like you're representing Australia and the Australian people might not agree with your thoughts.
Yes.
They might not align.
Or his other teammates.
But if it's a personal sponsor, I completely get it. But like if it's not really your jersey
to control in that way.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
But then whose is it? Is it just kind of a general abstract idea of the Australian people?
Well, I think that like the decision's left up to the decision makers, right? It's like, in this case it would be the board, Australian fucking Cricket Australia, right? As opposed to like the views of one single man.
But also maybe they can all be consulted. Like maybe you have maybe you can
pick.
But like as in maybe you've got your bigger name players, right? Like your captain, vice captain, your Smudges and Warners who are always, the people who are always going to be in the side, your Cricket Australia contracted players, who knows? And when it's coming up for a bit more of those negotiations that maybe they don't necessarily get a say, but there's a seat at the table where if there's potentially some sort of conflict and they can at least have their voices heard. But ultimately, it's like, are you not going to play for Australia, Pat? If we just told you to shut the fuck up.
But what about this? What if if they got significantly more money than they could from Alinta Energy than another sponsor,
Right?
Which then trickles down to like
Grassroots.
Grassroots. Well, like, you know, maybe guys are playing shoot, shield, and shoot. Maybe they're like, we don't give a fuck.
Sheffield Shield.
Sheffield Shield, rather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and completely. It's like, well, okay, at the top, it's like, yeah, sweet, you don't want it, but now maybe you can't afford to pay me fucking in as a Pure Milk Cup cricketer.
Shout out to Pure Milk.
Shout out to Pure Milk.
I don't know. It gets a bit grey, a bit mushy. What do you reckon, Dior?
I mean, I support Pat Cummins, and I don't think that we should be promote. And I think it's like sponsoring is one thing, but I think don't look at it as like a global warming issue. Look at it as just like it could be anything, right? Yeah, I think there is something to be said about the fact that it's not just kind of the sponsorship, but the fact that they're on the front of the jersey and you are promoting them wearing that jersey. So there is an extent where I can see how you'd want to feel comfortable in what you're wearing and what's on your body and stuff. I'm not trying to make this like a body thing, but just in the general sense of he is, by wearing the jersey, promoting it, and he has to have a decision within his head to be like, am I happy that I'm promoting this, that every time I'm on TV to millions of people, this is what is next to my face, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You look at it both ways. I can see both sides.
I can see both sides, but I do. Is there not just to some degree? Obviously, again, like if there's a consultation process, I think that's all right. I don't know if it's necessarily reasonable to just come out and fucking go, oh, I actually don't like these guys now, because he was also in ads with them. He did ads on fucking Alinta Energy last season. So like,
yeah, they've been around for a couple of years.
They've been around for a while now. So like to be like, I'm not into it anymore. And again, I'm sure that the reality of how it's gone down would be different. Pat Cummins does not strike me as the sort of person to be like, they can't sponsor the national team anymore. He seems much more like considered level-headed and like a decent person, reasonable person. But I just don't think that you can be giving, within reason, the players control of who's sponsoring in the business sense, when there is like fucking teams dedicated to going and the sales side of a business, right?
Mm-hmm. I think this is like, it's definitely a much bigger issue than this single issue in Australia, because it's the same kind of realm that you're dealing with things like the Qatar World Cup and the Live Golf Tournament of where is the money that's sponsoring our sports coming from. And I do agree with what you said before, Tom, that like, I don't think Alinta Energy is objectively worse than, let's say, Commonwealth Bank or, you know, whoever else does them. But I think to be able to kind of start having that conversation, I don't think this is going to get solved in this issue because, like you said, they'll get another sponsor on who other people have a problem with. But it's definitely a conversation that's starting to be had in worldwide sport.
Yeah, I guess I wonder what like the long-term ramification will be. Like, I don't know. I completely understand that like the fact that it may make no difference is not a reason not to do it. You know what I mean? Like where you go, fuck, this won't change anything. It's not like it's going to make businesses. I doubt Alinta Energy is going to fucking do any, like change their ways off the back of it, for example. But, you know, yeah, I don't think it's a reason to not do anything if you're a Pat Cummins who feels a certain way about something. I just don't think it'll make a difference long term. Like, I don't think you're going to change the fact that the Live Golf Tour is backed by fucking Saudi blood money, or every diamond on every finger of every woman in the fucking world is... not every woman, but relatively speaking, a large percentage of them is fucking, however they were procured was probably less than up to any HR code that we'd be dealing with in Australia. So sometimes I think it's just the picking and the choosing, which we're all guilty of, but I just find there can be double standards, but there are double standards everywhere. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. I'm sure there are shitloads of brands that be looking to sponsor. But I think Pat Cummins is going to be wearing it anytime. People are just going to be watching him. You know what I mean? Anytime he's fucking, oh, nice shoes, Pat. Where'd you get those, mate? Oh, yeah. Do you want to reverse engineer those fucking shoes and see what's going on there? The iPhone you use, and you want to reverse engineer where those batteries are coming from, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get started, be able to stop.
And that's just the reality. Maybe some people don't realize it. Like, everything's fucked.
Well, I hate to quote Marx, but there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. There's nothing that singular that you can do that doesn't have some knock-on effect that's hurting or exploiting someone.
Look at D or Dave here. Your iPhone, Samsung, the Apple computer.
Yeah.
Dave's an active participant in the, disintegration of society as we
I've got a
see it.
plastic bottle of water next to me. I hate myself inside.
Look at him, what a piece of
And
shit.
so you should.
Where's that vape made, you reckon, Dave?
Oh, this is ethically sourced. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. That's a vegan vape. That aside,
Australia win and win well this weekend.
well, I would think so. Can we get the results up of a few games? We were singing the praises of our good friends Namibia, who had a great win first up. Oh, yeah, against Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought Sri Lanka was fucked, but then Namibia's gone and lost at least one game, maybe two. Sri Lanka's come back and won. Sri Lanka lost to the Netherlands. Sorry, Namibia lost to the Netherlands. Sri Lanka beat the UAE.
So the final two games of that group are on today.
Yeah.
I was working this out before. If Netherlands win, they go through and Sri Lanka miss out.
So, yeah,
who
I
would
think
go? But would
Namibia would go through.
Namibia need to beat UAE, which they probably will.
Yeah.
Holy
no, sorry.
Yes.
Let me
Sri
just
Lanka
check
need to
this.
beat Netherlands, and Namibia need to beat the UAE.
Yeah.
To go
If
through.
Namibia beat the UAE, will they go through?
Yes.
No, not necessarily.
yeah.
It can come down to net run rate.
Yeah.
It could.
Yeah.
It
It'll
could.
be.
Their net run rate's better than the Netherlands, though, and it's basically...
So Namibia would go through.
No,
if,
they would.
if
Unless
Sri
it's
Lanka
some-
beat the Netherlands. Well, Namibia go through anyway.
Unless their run rate's awful, I guess.
If they beat the UAE, they go through. Because
Yeah,
if Sri Lanka
because-
beats the Netherlands, they'll go through. And if Netherlands beat Sri Lanka, they go through. Shout out to Namibia. bro.
Yeah.
I'm on
Huge.
them in a big way.
Yeah, we're big on Namibia here.
Huge on Namibia.
Huge. Now,
Believe shares a border with the South Africa?
I've always respected... Put your tongue back in your mouth. I turned around and just saw it fucking looking at me. Jesus Christ. I've always respected people who have a good grasp of geography.
Yeah. They
There
do
you go,
share a
share a border
southern
with
border with
Africa.
South Africa.
Botswana. And where's their northern... What's their northern...
Angola.
Angola. Jesus Christ, Angola doesn't... Well, you are zoomed in. Seems large.
Angola looks large. Africa are a big continent.
It's a huge continent. I wonder
the birthplace
how...
of
The
mankind.
cradle of mankind? Cradle of civilization?
Cradle.
How much of Africa generally is in, like, impoverished sort of, like, warlordy situation? And that's not I'm not meaning to sound like I'm generalizing, but, like, how safe is it to just travel throughout Africa? It's pretty fucking hectic everywhere. Is that fair to say, or am I just wrong?
I don't think it's pretty hectic everywhere. I don't think it's like Ghana and those places up there, Liberia, Sierra Leone. I think they're generally pretty safe at the
I
moment.
thought Liberia was hectic. Again, I thought I remember seeing, like,
Sierra Leone
a
is
Vice doco
was
on
Sierra
Liberia.
Leone where they had the civil war that was in Blood Diamond.
Yeah. Sierra Leone was
Yes.
Blood Diamond. Yeah. There's
Listen,
Is
I'm
it
sure we're not going to...
Nigeria is, I know, like the biggest and the most wealthy state there, and they've got like full-on cities and stuff that you'd kind of be surprised to see that.
But even like when there was a video on Adesanya going back to Nigeria, and it was like he needed fucking security.
Well, that's because he's a superstar.
Right, but if you need security... No, like it was
What do you
like,
mean? Floyd Mayweather doesn't go anywhere without security.
Yeah, it was different to just like Floyd having big bodyguards around him because he doesn't want people to take photos. Like it seemed like it was hairy. Again, I didn't want to... It's probably too fucking dense a question to be answered by any of us idiots. It was just... I was just looking at it and being like, it's such a humongous fucking continent.
There's a lot of countries there. Benin, Togo,
Yeah, like you just don't think about these things. Like, what are these places?
Chad. I remember Chad.
Well, I know Chad. We all know Chad.
Niger, Mali,
And
Western Sahara. Is that a nation?
On the map, it's very green and verdant here. Would that
That's
be
the
reflected
Congo.
in the land? Yeah, that is the Congo. There you go. That thing's fucking humongous.
Yeah,
dude.
bruh.
Is that the equator? Again,
That's the
not
equator.
a geography guy.
That's the
Apologies
that's
for
the
asking
equator,
dumb
mate.
questions.
That's the equator. Look at the Sahara. The Sahara's
Yeah, it's
big, meaty,
dry.
dry. Is this entertaining anyone?
We are just looking at.
Probably
We're just looking at a map
not.
right now. let's get back to the cricket.
Where's the Congo, man?
Yeah, what's the geopolitical situation in the entire African continent?
Let me just do 5 seconds of Dioring and I'll tell you.
Yeah, you
the
just
whole
answer that for
answer.
me, thanks.
Yeah.
Tom looks like he's about to fall asleep, which is, that's a great
That's a
sign.
great indicator of where
That's
we're
when you know
going.
you're doing real good work.
Back to the lip balm chat from earlier on, which I know Tobler liked. What can you see if the teams have been released?
For Australia.
Yeah, like it's fucking Thursday, guys. Can we release it? Like, what's the? Yeah, it looks like it has. No?
No, I think this is just squad because there's more than 11 names here.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it says squad at the top.
What do I have to do to get a fucking team list?
No one is naming team lists anywhere. The Rugby League World Cup, the Cricket World Cup, like, it is one of the great ball aches of all time trying to find a fucking team list here.
It's pissing me off. Smudge looking like getting left out, Tom. How do you feel about that?
You know what, dude? If it means he comes home and just gets into some Shield stuff like we were watching before, we were watching New South Wales.
Shout out to Matt Renshaw, who looked quite nice. And Nessa looked quite nice as well.
Nessa hit a 50. Renshaw was on 120 odd. Like, I know that we've got Quasha and Warner there, but like they're old as fuck.
Tom,
And there's a point when
I like it when our boys are pushing from the bottom up. You know, on the bottom pushing,
coming through pushing.
because I don't need to remind people. I shouldn't have to remind them. Power bottoms. I'm a big power bottom guy.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to remind the punter and the dribbler that there's an Ashes next year.
Yep.
And we need to start getting our mind, body, soul right.
Dave Warner and Usman Khawaja, I believe, do your own research, will be either turned or turning 37 next year.
Same age?
Yes.
Good mate.
So, like, that's old as fuck, right? In cricketing terms.
Well, Methuselah comes to mind.
Well, Methuselah looks at them and goes, damn, you're old. Now, there's a world where, and again, I pray to all the gods that our dear friend William Pucovski,
37 next year.
37 next year, there you go, Will Pucovski doesn't, go down with any more concussions. But is there a world where you see the Balkan Bulldog and Matty Renshaw at the top of the order for the nation?
I'd like it. Out of respect for Will Pucovski, the Balkan Bulldog, I'm just going to go, I'm not even going to talk about you, bruh. I'm not going to even entertain the idea of you opening for the nations and pillaging runs because I don't want to put that pressure on you.
Yeah.
You just go out there, avoid the seed, keep your head right, and we'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
We'll talk, dude.
We'll talk.
I've got your number.
And you've got ours.
And you've got mine, and mine yours.
Yeah.
I'll call you if I'm feeling something. But I'm not going to
Listen.
be feeling something until I see longevity.
My phone
Time
is
behind the crease.
My phone is always on. It's on Do Not Disturb, but I will call you back if I see
Listen
a missed
here,
call.
mate. If I miss it, never fear. You don't have to call me twice or thrice.
I'll get back to you
I will call you back.
when the time is right.
That's right.
But I do like Matty Renshaw. And he came in, he's already scored tons for the nation. He came in as a young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed boy. How old is Matt Renshaw, please, David? Guess, Eddie. Guess with me.
26.
I'm going to say 27. I was going to say 28, but I'll say 27.
Whoops. That's just...
We've got so many years left of that man.
You know what I liked, Tom? As we watched Sheffield Shield today.
Or Marsh Cup, I believe it might even be called.
I liked the way he... No, it wasn't. It was a Sheffield Shield because they were in whites.
Why the fuck are they calling it the Marsh Cup?
It's the Marsh Sheffield Shield, and then I think the one-day tournament is the Marsh Cup.
Marsh Sheffield Shield, okay.
Just a sponsor.
Yep.
I liked the way he was going about his innings, Tom. You know? Steadfast behind the crease. Knew where his wicket was.
Yeah. Strong defensive
And was
game.
prepared to be patient. That shit got me horny. I'm like, oh, this kid's matured. He's seen a couple more winners.
But he was always, look at his average. He's averaging, or is it strike rate? What's his average? Because
He's not out. He's 161 off 377. That shit turns
But
me
he
on.
was always a turtle.
33 and a half.
That's not a great average.
But what's his average in the last 2 years?
It's not a great average. You do need to be averaging more if you're going to play Test cricket for my nation.
Well, the reason he's not in the fucking side is because it's not high enough.
No.
But I look to look at recent form, Tom.
Tests, 33, the first class, listed. You'd have to do some work, I think, Dave, to find his average over the last few years.
You'd need to be doing work, probably. I mean,
Someone sent it in if you know. I just like him. I don't know if there's anyone else that I've forgotten in terms of openers and shit.
recent matches, 8, 10, 43, and he's been playing in England. 11, 21, 20, 55, 23, 38, 4.
Not great.
I'd like to see more consistency there, Matt. I really would. How many tons in? 1, 2,
ton.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 in the 10 tons.
And then a 50 and a 40.
It's not high enough.
No. Not
It's
high
not
enough.
It's
But
not high
listen, you know what? I'm liking the look of him. I'm just he you know what? He's again we got your number. And we're looking at you.
I like that he goes and plays county.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
He's trying to get some fucking conditions
Bit
under
of
his
list
belt.
A, mate. Like it.
Conditions, mate. He wants to be there next year
Yeah.
with us at the Ashes.
Well, you know, with us.
Shout out to KO.
With us.
Send us the Ashes.
With you and I, mate.
Leave a comment on KO's Instagram saying send Tom and Nedd to the Ashes next year. We'll ramp that up next year, but just do it.
Oh, we'll be ramping it. That'll get ramped within an inch of its life.
Send Tom and Nedd to fucking...
Don't get it twisted.
Send
I'm
him
going
to
to ramp.
England.
I'm going to ramp the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
The living fuck.
The living fuck. It's got to be one of the great social media movements of all time. It'll be like
It'll be ramped.
Coney 2012, Ice Bucket Challenge.
Shout out to Coney 2012.
And then us getting to...
Was that solved, the Coney issue?
I'm pretty sure I remember that it was already pretty much solved by the time he had put out that whole campaign.
That was one of the great campaigns. Then I think he got done like...
That was when virality was
at its
honest
earliest.
and true.
Yeah, but it was his earliest It was when virality was early. But he then was caught like high on bath salts somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was caught masturbating in public in LA or something.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yep.
That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. It took
unfortunately, that takes away from the cause.
Well, it
Distracts from it.
It distracts. I think it's still. Look, I don't know where Joseph Coney's at now, but if you're the face of the movement and you're caught masturbating in public high on bath salts, it doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
No.
Everything else he was doing, that probably was good, but
Sure. Again, not really.
beating off in public's always going to be a tough
Listen,
sell.
public masturbation, you can't sell at the market. It's as simple as that.
No.
There's no place for it, Tom. No place for it.
You haven't watched the new Thrones yet, have you?
No.
Fuck me dead.
We're talking cricket, though.
No, I know that, but just masturbation, it just came into my head.
Yeah, it does say as of early 2012, Coney's followers were thought to only number in the hundreds and were on the decline. So he was kind of...
He's on the way
He
out.
was getting to a problem that was already being solved.
Sure. Look, be that as it may,
We are talking cricket. As
we
you
are
said.
talking cricket on behalf of KO. I think Australia wins well this weekend. I think it's the first step on a journey to retain
the World Cup. I hope that Australia win, but I'm not sure. I'm not very high on our pre-tournament form. I know we weren't that good going into the last tournament, but I'm just not that high on it. I hope to have my mind changed.
Sure. I mean, listen, I don't love your negativity, Tom. I can't help but be honest here.
I get it.
I don't love it.
I get it.
I don't love your negativity.
I can't help it, dude. It's not negativity. It's a shrewd, realistic observation of the facts as they currently sit.
Sure.
With an open mind and an open heart to have those beliefs and concerns changed.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to KO.
Shout out to KO.
Did you hear what happened to Josh Inglis?
Oh yeah,
Backup
Josh Inglis.
wicketkeeper fame.
He fucked his hand up or something, right?
Yes,
Playing
he was
golf?
playing golf, and he made a bit of a divot into the ground, and the golf club snapped and cut open his hand, and so now he's out for the World Cup.
What?
Was he part of the World Cup?
He was in the squad. Yeah, he was our backup wicketkeeper.
Oh shit, dude! You must have really hit that thing hard to snap a golf club.
That's fucking ridiculous. I've never looked like snapping a golf club.
No, I've bent one. I've never snapped one.
Never looked like it.
Snapping metal takes a lot.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I tell you what else I was thinking just today, and shout out to Josh Inglis. That sucks, dude. Hopefully, who are they bringing in?
Well, they don't know yet. They're still deciding. Well, they said they
Philippi?
can bring Cameron Green into the team, but then we don't really have a backup wicketkeeper.
Well, yeah, that doesn't help. Does it? Can anyone take the gloves there?
Alex, anyone
Could you
on
not
the
just
team?
bring someone in if, say, Wade got injured? Just go, okay, well, now we're going to bring someone else into the squad. Or once you go to the World Cup, you have to stick with your squad.
Yeah, no. I don't know who keeps. Okay, that's lovely. That's lovely. What did your wife say to you? What did your wife say to you today when you left the house? She said something. And you've gone against her wishes.
I have. I've gone against my wife's wishes. She asked me today. She said, promise me you won't fart in front of anyone today because they fucking stink.
Did you promise her?
I did. I said
You've broken a promise.
Yeah, I broke a promise.
You have to tell her when you get home what you've done.
I'm not telling her. I'm not admitting to it. That one was...
She might be getting a message.
There was like a hope it was going to be quieter, and then once...
There was no hope there. There was no hope there.
Once I realised...
There was no hope there.
No, there was.
There was intent
No, there
behind
wasn't.
that.
Once I realised that it wasn't going to be quiet, I drove it. I went, okay, well, the cat's out of the bag now. I'm going to drive this thing. And I drove it.
Oh, well, good for you.
I apologise. Well, I was thinking about the Australian coach. I can't even think of his name right now.
Andrew McDonald.
Andrew McDonald.
Redden up.
Think about how much you saw Justin Langer. And this isn't even a criticism. This is just an observation either way. But, like, Justin Langer was, like, fucking front and centre of everything. I don't reckon I've even seen Andrew McDonald speak in that since he was named.
I haven't.
I've not seen the man speak a word.
And do you think that's a good or a bad thing?
I don't care. If we win, it's good. If we don't win, it's bad. Do you know what I mean? Though, like in terms of it's a horses for courses. I didn't personally care about Langer talking a lot, but it must have been he must have been like a grinder of gears in the dressing sheds.
Well, Langer played a quieter hand when we won the T20 World Cup last time.
He did.
So maybe McDonald's going, well, look, that quiet hand works, and that's what we'll be doing.
He's like, I'm not. Well, because maybe it's just a reversion back to when the Australian coach sort of shut the fuck up and carried the bags, as Warnie put it.
You're on the waters.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, that's all ahead of us. We'll see how we go.
Yep.
Love you, KO.
Love you, KO. Thank you to KO. Love you to KO. I don't think, Eddie, between you and I, there's too much else.
That's it.
I think that's it, dude.
That's it. Got my Oztag, back at Oztag tonight.
You're back at Oztag tonight.
We have noticed the first couple of weeks is like where they seed you. We do notice that they've put us like a little too high.
Have you used this seed round though, right? Or you haven't done seed?
They're seeding round.
So this is like the beta. This is like the start of the Cricket World Cup. This is like where you're the beta.
Well, we're playing. Well, first and second. They put us in Division 1 and 2, and I'm like, that's too high.
You're beyond that now. I like that this podcast has documented your descent to the lower grades.
I don't even think we're gonna have 8 men there tonight. So we could get fucking humped.
Yeah. Is it Thursday today? Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks.
Good luck with that. Slippery Bucks back in action.
Slippery Bucks. Shout out to ya.
All right.
Bye bye.
Cheers.
Could you two just not talk anymore?